going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Kizer Knives Bugai. So this is another quirky stub nose blade, just an interesting knife from Kizer. I honestly thought with the three that this came in with, which was the Bugai, the original XL, and the Aggressor, I thought this was going to be my least favorite of the three. But it ended up being my second favorite, because if you guys caught yesterday's video with the Aggressor, you saw I wasn't a huge fan of that knife. And this thing honestly surprised me. I liked it more than I thought I would. It has a great action, which of course Kizer is pretty known for that now. But of course this was, again, part of the three different Kizer knives from Lefty EDC, or the Lefty passaround. Yeah, so we're going to jump right into materials. These are rocking, I believe these are green micarta. I always get confused between green and natural micarta because they're very, very similar. But I believe these are green micarta scales. A milled, I believe, titanium pot clip that is lefty or righty carry, which is really nice. And this is kind of like their sculpted clip, how it comes together in the middle and it tapers out towards the end. I like how Kizer does that. And it has countersunk screws, which is really nice as well. Helps it go in and out of pocket much easier. But has a hole for deployment, of course, with a fuller running on both sides of the knife. It is a 154 cm stonewash blade. I would call this, I'm going to call this like a spade point. I know it's not really a knife blade, but it's like a spear point and a drop point mixed together, but very, very stub nosed. And it reminds me of a spade, like a shovel. Very interesting, but it comes down to a nice thin edge. Has a decently thin blade stock, kind of right in the middle. Of course, you have jimping right there. Has a liner lock with plenty of lock bar access. There is the Kizer logo. Again, it's 154 cm, and the designer is D. Antimotive. It is a D. Antimotive design. Not familiar with any of his work. So this is the first one that I've handled from him, but it's on bearings, of course. As for internal milling, there are, looks to be 3 different pockets on the show scale side and 4 pockets on, or excuse me, three different pockets on the liner lock side and 4 different pockets on the show scale side. You just have standoffs back there. I believe the blade is right around 3 inches, maybe a little over. I don't know if did I write this down? Yeah, 3.11 inches. So just over 3, but yeah, bearings, like I said, dead centered. No blade, a little bit of blade play, but not much. So next up, we're going to jump into action. And the action on this is very solid. So middle finger flick just bangs right out of there. Thumb flick also works very well. You can slow roll it. You can index finger flick it. Middle finger flick. Just very snappy. The D10 on this, you guys can hear it. Snaps back into place. Very nice. And that middle finger flick is crisp and fun every single time. Closing action, drops to your nail, and it is just a guillotine. I don't know if I can, yep, see, I guess I can do it. So it'll just drop home. Get your thumb out of the way. Drop shut. Very, very smooth. This was a lot more fun to fidget with than I originally thought it was going to be. Oh, see, the D10's even so stiff. I also try to shove my whole finger in there. But it's very sniff. It's very stiff. It's very snappy. Very fun to fidget with. Just flies right out of there. Just drops. Kizer killed it on this specific model with the D10, with the closing action. Just very, very fun. Very reliable, just flies right out of there. So action on the Bugai is 10 out of 10. So next up, we're going to talk about ergos. And it's a very comfortable knife. So choked back here, I can still get all 4 fingers on here. I don't have the most room in the world. I'm kind of, just hanging on back there, but it's still very comfortable. And I don't feel like I'm squishing myself or making myself feel, like constricted on this knife. So it's very comfortable. They have some nice jimping up top there, which I find my thumb lands right on. A saber grip, hammer grip works well. But what I find to be the most comfortable is they have a sort of landing choil up here with part blade, part scale. And then I can easily choke up. My thumb extends almost out to the very front of the blade. I have plenty of room out here on the back, and this is very comfortable for doing specific push cuts. You feel locked in, especially with that huge finger groove right there. My middle finger just gets, basically wrapped the whole way up around it, and it is not going to go anywhere. Pinch grip is also very nice on this with my middle finger and my thumb, with my pointer finger up here to guide through cuts of some sort. The micarta, Kizer does a really good job with her micarta. And again, this has been passed around, so it has oils from other hands in it, not just mine. So it's loosened up a little bit. It's not as rough and not as like dry, I guess, or stiff. It has a really good feel to it, a really good texture. Can hear a car way off in the distance on my road just bumping music. Kind of took me by surprise. If you guys listen close enough, you might be able to hear it too. They're coming by right now. But the pot clip is, for being a loop over style deep carry clip, it sits very flush to the scale. It does not really, much of a hot spot at all. Can I feel it right here? Sure. But when I choke up, I really can't feel it at all. And even when I'm choked back, it again doesn't really cause much of a hot spot at all. So really any grip you're wanting to do with this knife, it's comfortable. Having a nice quality micarta goes a long way with knives, with having good grip and just comfortability. That's what I'm looking for. And the Bugai definitely has that. So again, 2 thumbs up with the ergos on this knife. So next up is carry. And this thing is a nice, compact, pretty lightweight package. Sits in your pocket. You have no flipper tabs, no jimping, no sharp edges. It's all nicely rounded and contoured. So if you have to go down in for change, keys, medicine, anything like that, you're not at risk of hitting something and pulling the knife up out of your pocket when you come up out of your pocket with whatever you're reaching down in there for, which is nice. It just sits right in the pocket. With the clip, it goes almost, it's pretty much at the end of the knife. You might have just a centimeter or a hair sticking up out of there, but it sits very well. I have not carried this in anything other than, I think, khakis twice, and I've carried this around my house in gym shorts a lot. And even just tossing this in a pocket works very, very well. It's lightweight enough to not know it's really there, which, says a lot about a budget knife that has, shadow boxed or proud liners. Not the most lightweight knife in the world, but it feels very good. With the weight, I don't know exactly what the weight is, but it feels substantial in hand, and it's, you can't really tell it's there at all in the pocket. And again, it's lefty carry. If you want to switch that pocket clip over to lefty, you're more than welcome to do so. So yeah, no complaints at all in the carry department. So that takes me to my final category of price point and would I recommend this knife. So the price point on the Bugai, I have it written down here. I have a little notepad with all my prices on it for my videos, for the specific reviews that I'm filming now. $69, so the same price as the Aggressor. I think this knife is worth it, absolutely. If you like the way this knife looks, honestly, Kizer is starting to get to that same, the same level of Civivi, where if you like a Civivi and you like how it looks, just go out and find one. Find the one you like how it looks aesthetically, and if it appeals to you, buy it, because odds are you're going to like it. That's kind of how Kizer is becoming. If you are a fan of this style of blade and this sort of chunky and stocky, and it's a little quirky, but in a good way. But if you're a fan of this, try it out and like it, and odds are you're probably going to like it. I was very pleasantly surprised by this knife. I did not think I was going to like it as much as the Aggressor and as the original XL. And the action really just kind of blew me away, how snappy it is, how fun it is to close the knife. Middle finger flick just works so well. So I can absolutely recommend this knife. $69 again. Kizer's just really sitting in that price range from anywhere from like 60, 65, 70 bucks to like 150, and they are just, well, 200 I guess with some of the fat carbon models, but they are just killing it. They really are. It's a fantastic fantastic company, and this is another fantastic offering. I'm not going to run out and buy one just because it's you know, I'm trying to cut back on purchases a little bit and be a little bit more specific with what I'm spending on. But this is a knife that I'm always going to say, man, the Bugai is a sort of underrated heater. Just good quality, good materials, fantastic action. There we go. detent is just nice and stiff and snappy and just works well. So if you're a fan of this blade shape, go check out this knife. I've been a big fan of the Bugai, and I think it's a another good addition to Kizer's lineup. So let me know down below in the in the comments what your guys' thoughts are. You know, do you like this blade shape? Do you hate this blade shape? Do you have the knife? Do you want the knife? Did you have the knife and you hated the knife? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. And I always try to respond back to my comments. It's one of my favorite things to do on YouTube. So this was my full review on the Kizer Knives Bugai. Huge shout out to Kevin over at Lefty EDC for sending this, as well as 2 other Kizers to check out in the Lefty passaround. I always appreciate you, Kev. And I appreciate you guys. We're slowly getting closer to 1,000 subs, about 25 away. And there will be a giveaway coming when I hit 1,000. So hopefully these, you know, like I said, last video I talked about kind of a life update. I'll be moving into a new apartment with my fiance soon. I'll have some new space, maybe some new creative juices flowing. So hopefully we're going to get to 1,000 sooner than later. And I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up now. But thank you guys again so much for watching. I always greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, night, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.